Love at first sight. As I pushed open the door to the small cafe, the sweet scent of fresh pastries and roasted coffee enveloped me like a warm hug. My usual haunt, it was a place I frequented for its cozy atmosphere and quiet corners, the perfect refuge from the bustling world outside. Yet today, my routine was interrupted by something extraordinary. She was sitting there, a radiant enigma, her delicate fingers wrapped around a lollipop. With her long, flowing hair cascading over her shoulders, she caught the light in a way that made everything else blur. For a moment, I was frozen, time stretched, and I inhaled sharply, feeling a flutter of something I hadn't expected. I hadn't been looking for love, not in this place, not at this moment. But there she was, a bright spark in my otherwise mundane world. I flushed with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Was this woman really someone who thought like me? Someone who existed beyond the scope of he? My heart sank a little at the thought, but I couldn't tear my gaze away. I tried to convince myself that it was all in my head. Surely, a girl like that wouldn't have any interest in someone like me. I ordered my food with trembling hands, the sensation of her eyes on me sending jitters through every nerve. When I daringly cast a glance her way, it felt as though she was looking right through me, with a captivating mix of intrigue and kindness. Was I reading into things? Was this just my imagination running wild? With a tantalizing motion, she gestured to the seat across from her. My heart raced. Should I take the leap? With a quick intake of breath, I moved towards her, ready to dance between the lines of possibility and hope. As I sat down, the world faded into an indistinct blur, leaving just the two of us within that tiny space. "Hey," she whispered, leaning in like we were sharing a secret. Her breath brushed against my ear, sending shivers down my spine. "No fear. Let's just enjoy this moment." Her words enfolded me, a warm invitation that banished all doubts. After our meal, she stood up and, without hesitation, took my hand. The gesture felt electric, as if she were pulling me into a new realm entirely. Together, we walked to her car where she turned on the radio. Instantly, the familiar tunes hit me, my favorite band filling the air. It felt like fate, the sound of happiness mingling with the energy of a burgeoning connection. Every worry melted away, becoming as small and inconsequential as grains of sand. It was a whirlwind, a feeling akin to the pages of a fairy tale unfolding before me. With her, I was Alice, stepping into a wonderland beyond my imagination, a place where everything seemed vividly alive. As we arrived at her home, there was a palpable shift in the air. Her playful gaze lingered on me, hinting at promises unspoken. Tonight, her tone suggested, "You won't be alone." In the flickering glow of the evening, our lips met. The kiss was a flurry of excitement. My mind raced, questions darting through my thoughts. Was this just a passing fling, or was it something deeper? I hesitated for a fleeting moment, worries creeping in, but the thrill of the moment soon drowned them out. I wrapped my arms around her, fingers tangling in her hair, losing myself in the magic of what was happening. We melted into each other, bodies entwined like patterns in a rich tapestry. The world beyond faded even more, leaving only us and the intoxicating connection that had ignited so suddenly. She paused in the chaos to look deeply into my eyes. Something shifted in the atmosphere. "I love you," she whispered, sending a shock of disbelief through my heart. In those words, I found a universe where my fears and confusions unraveled. She wasn't just a passing dream, she was here, with me, feeling things I longed to share. For the first time, I dared to dream of a future where we could explore what this connection might blossom into. This was love at first sight, undeniably real and achingly beautiful. In that intimate space, I discovered something profound, a piece of myself I never knew was missing, finally feeling complete with her beside me. Life didn't seem so daunting anymore. With her, it was a beautiful adventure waiting to unfold. The rhythm of our hearts matched the soft beats of the song playing in the background. We pulled away from each other just long enough to catch our breath, but our hands remained intertwined, fingers laced like the petals of two blooming flowers. I could hardly believe the warmth radiating from her gaze. It felt as though she could see the intricacies of my soul, and in that moment, I wanted nothing more than to share everything, the beauty, the messiness, the dreams I had kept tucked away in the corners of my heart. "What's your name?" I finally managed to ask, my voice a soft murmur filled with wonder. "Brianna," she replied, her smile brightening the dim room. "And you?" "Alice," I said, feeling a rush of connection with her name. "It seems only fitting that we're both here, right? Like something out of a story." Brianna laughed, the sound like music, free and unrestrained. "Absolutely. This feels like a beginning." We spent countless moments exploring the surface of each other's lives, the hopes and worries spilling over cups of tea, our laughter mixing with the gentle hum of the radio. As the night deepened, so did our connection, weaving a rich tapestry of shared stories and dreams. She spoke of her love for art, how it opened the floodgates for her emotions, while I shared my adventures in writing, weaving tales that spoke of longing and courage. But as the exhilaration of our bonding buzzed in the air, I felt a shift of uncertainty rise within me. My thoughts drifted to the reality looming just beyond the warmth of her embrace. Did she really mean what she said? Did she love me? A whisper of fear began to creep in, intertwining with the joy and excitement I felt. As if sensing my hesitation, Brianna squeezed my hand gently. "What are you thinking, Alice?" Her voice was soothing, drawing me back into the present moment. I took a deep breath, summoning the courage to voice the spinning thoughts in my head. "I can't help but wonder if this is all too fast. I've never felt this way before, and it frightens me. What if this is just a fleeting moment for you?" She shook her head softly, a serious look crossing her face. "I wouldn't have brought you here if I didn't want to explore this further," she stated, her gaze unwavering. "I've never connected with anyone like this before, not even close. What's between us feels different, real. Whatever happens, I want to share this with you." Her sincerity washed over me like a gentle tide, soothing my worries, and my heart swelled. I couldn't ignore the truth in her words and, despite my fears, I found myself wanting to embrace this uncertain journey with her. "And what is this something new between us?" I asked, a playful smile now tugging at my lips. Brianna grinned, leaning close. "I think it's the start of something beautiful. A blend of art and poetry, risks and rewards." I felt my cheeks flush, my heart racing as she leaned in closer. Something shifted in the air, a palpable electricity as we shared the space of possibility. We took our time, letting the unspoken intensity envelop us, allowing the moment to expand like the universe itself. Days turned into weeks, our connection blossoming like a wildflower in spring. We spent countless afternoons exploring cafes that felt too vibrant, art galleries buzzing with color, and parks steeped in life. Each moment became another brushstroke on the canvas of our shared story. The world outside melted away, revealing only the bright curiosity of our blossoming romance. We laughed, we created, and we ventured into the depths of vulnerability, showing each other parts of our pasts that were raw and tangled. With Brianna, I felt no shame, no fear of judgment. Every tear, every laugh seemed to knit us closer together. But with each passing day, a question lingered in the corners of my mind. What happens when the initial rush fades? Each fleeting moment with Brianna felt like a spell cast, and I worried about what might happen when reality inevitably broke the enchantment. One evening, as we stargazed on a picnic blanket in a secluded park, the blanket of sky spread above us speckled with stars, I finally gathered the courage to voice my thoughts. "Brianna, do you think this is real? I mean, what if it fades? What if we wake up one day and realize we were just caught in the thrill of a new romance?" She turned to me, her expression serious yet gentle, the reflection of starlight dancing in her eyes. "Alice, every relationship has its ebbs and flows. That's a part of it. But what we have right now is real, an emotion deeply rooted. I can't promise what tomorrow holds, but I want to explore this with you, day by day, moment by moment." Her words wrapped around me like a warm embrace, calming the storm of uncertainty swirling inside me. Maybe love isn't about certainty but about the willingness to navigate the unknown together. That night, we kissed under the blanket of stars, the worries of tomorrow fading into the cosmos above us. I realized that every moment we shared was an act of faith. I was daring to open my heart to someone who made me feel alive, even if it came with uncertainties. It was a risk worth taking. As we lay there, wrapped in each other's arms, I closed my eyes, surrendering to the magic of the present. I was no longer Alice just caught in a dream. I was Alice, embraced by possibility, eager to see what each new day would bring. This was our story, one of love at first sight, and I was ready to write the next chapter, together. The days rolled into weeks that felt like a beautiful, whimsical blur. Each morning, I woke with an eagerness that was both exhilarating and unfamiliar, a sweet anticipation thrumming through my veins. I often found myself glancing at my phone at odd moments, waiting for a message from Brianna, a thread connecting our lives with the promise of more to come. Every text was a spark, igniting my heart. One Saturday, we decided to venture into the heart of the city, where the streets thrummed with life. It was mid-afternoon when Brianna took my hand, leading me through a bustling open-air market that overflowed with vibrant colors, the enticing aroma of street food filling the air. Stalls lined the path, showcasing handmade crafts and local produce, and the sounds of laughter melded with the melodies of street musicians. "Look at that!" Brianna exclaimed, pointing to a booth where a vendor painted intricate henna designs. "You should get one." I hesitated, the shyness creeping in. "Really? You think so?" "Absolutely. It'll be a perfect reminder of our day together," she encouraged, her eyes sparkling with excitement. With a gentle nudge, I soon found myself seated at a small table as the henna artist worked, intricate designs blooming on my skin. As I marveled at the patterns taking shape, I glanced over at Brianna, who was examining a handcrafted piece of jewelry. "Should I get something too? You know, matching markings that signify our bond?" Brianna mused, tossing a playful glance my way. I chuckled, my cheeks warming at the thought. "Why not? We're practically a set already." As the henna dried, we wandered the market, sampling local delicacies, everything from spicy samosas to sweet pastries. Brianna's laughter was infectious, weaving seamlessly into the fabric of the day. It was in these moments, the tiny, unremarkable ones, that I felt the enormity of our connection, the fabric of our lives stitching tighter with every shared bite and laugh. Later, as we settled on a bench surrounded by the cacophony of life, I couldn't help but feel a swell of gratitude for her presence. "I never knew how wonderful it could be to simply enjoy the world with someone," I admitted, laying my head on her shoulder. Brianna tilted her head to meet my gaze, a knowing smile playing at the corners of her lips. "It's always been there, Alice. Sometimes all we need is the right person to help us see it." Just then, a nearby street performer began to play a lively tune, drawing a small crowd that twirled and swayed to the music. Without thinking, Brianna grabbed my hand, pulling me into the fray. We laughed and danced, our bodies moving in sync, a whirlwind of joy and rhythm. I felt carefree, utterly alive in the moment, as if the world outside had faded away, leaving just us. Hours passed, and soon the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange. We found a small patch of grass, sprawling out under the slowly darkening sky, our fingers still intertwined. "Do you think we'll keep doing this?" I asked softly, turning to Brianna, vulnerability flickering in my voice. "You know, being together, exploring life?" Her smile was calm, soothing like the sky above us. "As long as we're honest about our feelings and keep communicating," she replied, her eyes steady and reassuring. "That's the foundation of anything worthwhile." I felt a sense of peace wash over me, each reassuring word wrapping around my heart. "I want to do this with you, to keep exploring, whatever it looks like." Her gaze softened, and as she leaned in closer, I could feel the steady beat of her heart in harmony with mine. "Then let's make a pact. This is the beginning, and we'll navigate it together, one day at a time." Weeks turned into months, and through every twist and turn, we remained anchored to each other. Our adventures took us to art shows, movie marathons, and cozy nights spent at home, curled up with books that captured our imaginations. We celebrated each small victory, from completing personal projects to navigating our fears, and we became each other's biggest supporters. But love wasn't without its challenges. One evening, as we sat together on the couch, Brianna's face turned serious. "Alice, I've been thinking. Are we rushing into this? I mean, we're still figuring ourselves out. Should we explore more before diving deeper?" My heart sank slightly. I focused on the bookshelf ahead, the thoughts that had often flitted through my mind suddenly solidifying into a palpable tension. "I've thought about that too," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "But I also feel like what we have is special. Maybe we don't need to define it yet?" Brianna nodded, her forehead creased in contemplation. "It is special, but we should make sure we're healthy as individuals too. Love flourishes when we're both whole." As hard as it was to hear, I understood her perspective, the truth in her words resonating. We both had our individual journeys, and if we wanted our love to thrive, we needed to honor that. "So, what do you propose?" I asked, searching her eyes for clarity. "Let's take a little time, just a few weeks, to focus on ourselves," she suggested gently. "We can still meet, still have fun, but we should allow ourselves the space to grow." I sat quietly, processing her words, my heart balancing between the warmth of our connection and the cool touch of uncertainty. "I think that might be wise. But I don't want you to feel like we are losing anything." "Me neither," she reassured, a smile breaking through the seriousness. "We'll still share our journey, just in a different manner for a while." Although bittersweet, her proposal felt right. Love could endure distance, flourish in space. We embraced tightly, sealing our acknowledgements, both of us carrying a flicker of hope that we could navigate this shift with grace. Time unfolded, as it always does. We spent the next few weeks exploring our individual interests. I dove deeper into my writing, pouring my heart out onto the pages, while Brianna embraced her art, creating pieces that expressed the myriad emotions we shared. We continued to see each other on weekends, going on brief outings filled with laughter, our bond shifting yet deepening in unexpected ways. After a month's time, we settled on the same bench in the park where we had danced all those weeks ago, the nostalgia wrapping around us like a snug quilt. The sun cast a warm glow, illuminating our shared space. "Hey," Brianna started, her voice light yet carrying a weight. "I think I'm ready to dive back into us, whatever that looks like." I felt a rush of warmth flood my heart. "Me too," I said, my voice buoyant. I realized that every moment apart helped me appreciate what we have even more. With smiles exchanged, we ventured into honest conversations, revisiting our hopes, dreams, and the changes we'd embraced during our time apart. We returned to the beginning, rekindling the passion we had stumbled upon one fateful afternoon in that small cafe. And just like that, we shifted back into each other's lives, our bond redefined yet fortified by the work we had each put into ourselves. As we held hands, I knew that the journey of love wasn't always straightforward. It often twisted, turned, and challenged both of us. Yet with Brianna, I felt ready to explore every curve and edge. With her, every day was still a beautiful adventure, one I anticipated diving into with every ounce of my being. Together, we would weave the next chapters of our story, fueled by laughter, honesty, and love, daring to dream about the endless possibilities ahead. With the passage of time, Brianna and I settled into a rhythm that felt familiar and exhilarating all at once. We spent the next few weeks in nurturing our relationship, yet dedicating time to our individual passions. The vibrant tapestry of our connection continued to grow deeper, each thread imbued with a blend of playfulness, depth, and mutual respect. One weekend, we decided to explore a neighboring town known for its artsy vibe. As we strolled through cobblestone streets flanked by colorful murals and indie shops, I glanced at Brianna, whose eyes lit up at every vibrant hue and creative display. We wandered through galleries, marveling at visual stories that echoed our own. "Look at this one!" Brianna exclaimed, pointing at a colorful abstract painting that seemed to dance on the canvas. "It's chaotic yet harmonious, like love sometimes." I chuckled, appreciating her perspective. "You capture it so well. Art truly imitates life." Further along, we stumbled upon an outdoor cafe, and we settled into a cozy table surrounded by greenery, sipping on iced coffees. As laughter bubbled up between us, I realized how much joy Brianna brought into my life. She was a muse, inspiring me both on the page and in reality. "Can I tell you something?" Brianna asked, her tone shifting to something more sincere. "Of course," I replied, sensing the gravity in her voice. "I've been working on a surprise for you," she said, her smile a mix of mischief and excitement. "It's a project that combines my art with your writing." I raised an eyebrow curiously. "A project? Like what?" Brianna took a deep breath. "Well, I want to create a small book, a collection of my artwork paired with snippets of your poetry and stories. Something that captures our journey together." My heart raced at the idea. The thought of our worlds combining into something tangible and beautiful sent a thrill through me. "That sounds incredible. I would love to do that with you." Her face lit up, and I could see the excitement bubbling over. "I thought we could start with pieces that reflect our time together, from the very first day we met in that cafe to all our little adventures since." As we discussed ideas, the connection between us felt vibrant and electric, each laughter, every shared dream illuminating the path we were creating together. In the days that followed, we delved into the project with fervor, often working late into the night at my place, brainstorming, sketching out ideas, and merging our visions. As our work progressed, the book took on a life of its own, evolving into a testament of our journey as individuals and as a couple. Each page felt like a heartbeat, a record of every moment, every emotion we had shared. Finally, the day arrived when we sat down to review the nearly completed project. As we flipped through the pages, I marveled at the lush blend of artistry and words that depicted our love story in a way I never thought possible. It was raw, imperfect, and yet perfectly encapsulating our bond. "This is amazing," I whispered, feeling overwhelmed by the beauty of it all. "You've captured so much." Brianna gazed at me, her expression serious but tender. "And we did this together. It's our story, and I want to share it with the world." Her words resonated within me, and as we sat in silence, I knew we were at a pivotal moment in our relationship, a moment that felt like a leap over an emotional precipice. "Brianna?" I asked, searching for the right words through the nervous flutter in my chest. "What if we took this even further? What if we shared not just the book, but also our relationship with greater vulnerability?" Her brows furrowed slightly, considering my words. "What do you mean? What if we didn't hold back on what we've learned about love? On the challenges? The joy? The moments we've grown together?" As I expressed my thoughts, I felt an electrifying passion burning within me. "I want to share our story, not just the beauty but the struggle behind it as well. To inspire others to see that love is about growth, communication, and understanding." Brianna's expression shifted from surprise to delight. "That's beautiful, Alice. I love it. A real look at what it means to be two people making a life together." In that moment, both of us realized that this book was not just art, it was a bridge between our worlds and those of others who might feel isolated or unsure in their own journeys. Together, we decided to intertwine our stories, the laughter, the messiness, the heartache, the joy, and launch it as a collection emphasizing authenticity and love. We poured our souls into the project, intertwining our voices to tell the truth of our journey with raw authenticity. When the book was finally ready to be published, I felt a thrill course through me that matched the excitement I once felt on the day we had met in that cafe. Standing hand in hand, we gathered a small group of friends and family for a launch party, a celebration of love, artistry, and everything we had created together. "I couldn't have done this without you," I said to Brianna as she stood beside me, her face illuminated by the glow of candlelight. The room, filled with friends, felt electric with energy. "You've not only been my partner in the art but in life. This wouldn't be what it is without you." Tears welled in her eyes, and she squeezed my hand. "And you've shown me that vulnerability is strength, that love grows through openness. I'm so proud of us." As the evening unfolded, we shared stories, and laughter filled the air, weaving in and out like a sweet melody. I watched Brianna, abundant with joy, the light in her eyes reflecting the very same happiness I felt within me. From then on, our journey only deepened. We celebrated our accomplishments, welcomed changes, and embraced challenges hand in hand. Our book was a testament not only to our love but also to the many forms love could take. It reached hearts, inspired dialogue, and fostered connections. As we settled into our lives, I cherished the promise that swirled around us, the understanding that love is a journey of growth, art, and unwavering support, a blend of chaos and beauty that makes life worth living. And as the sun rose each day, we would wake together, ready to embark on more adventures, dreams, and pages yet to be written, each day a new chapter, filled with love in all its forms. Together, we were fearless, diving into everything life had to offer. This was love, our love, a masterpiece in progress. Sparkles.